Hi everyone, we're Group 8. Today we'll be giving an overview of Singapore and Taiwan's accounting environments, including their economies, trade settings, financial reporting systems, and how accountants operate in each country.
So Taiwan's economy, it's a high-income/free market economy with a GDP in 2025 of around 870 billion USD. Its June 2025 GDP growth was estimated around 3.10%. It is export-oriented, with exports making about 70% of GDP. Its major exports include electronics, information, communication. They are the largest producer of semiconductor chips. Their major export partners are mainland China and Hong Kong, and they have extremely large foreign reserves at 583 billion as of April 2025. So why is Taiwan desirable to trade with? They have dominant position on key technology industries such as semiconductors. They have the mentioned Federal Reserve. Plus, they rank very well in economic freedom at around 4 out of 184, meaning they're a lot more stable and more predictable. They have favorable trade policies such as the CHIP Act that offers a 25% potential tax deduction on forward-looking research and development, plus a 5% deduction on advanced machinery spending with no upper limit. They also have a friendly business environment with strong intellectual property protection. So, how is trade facilitated in Taiwan? Through the help of government agencies such as the International Trade Administration or the Ministry of Economic Affairs. They do stuff like trade missions, international exhibits, and marketing support. There's also improvements in trade management and safeguarding exporter rights by updating their export controls. So Singapore's economy, it's a high-income free market economy with a 2025 GDP of around 500 billion USD, with a 2025 GDP growth estimated at around 0 to 2%. It is export-oriented, with 186% of their exports being of GDP value. Their major exports are machinery and equipment. Major export partners are China and Hong Kong, similar to Taiwan. So what makes Singapore a desirable area to trade with? Singapore is first in global connections cited by Singapore's Economic Development Board. It has 28 free trade agreements globally, meaning there's lots of possible benefits. Strong IP protection similar to Taiwan. It's a leader in innovation, ranking first in innovation trends and report for 2024 is provided on this image. So how is trade facilitated in Singapore? Similar to Taiwan, it has the help of government agencies such as Singapore Customs and the Ministry of Trade and Industry. They utilize their strategic location along major trade routes to promote their markets. And 3, they take advantage of their high-level advantage in digital infrastructure through things like network trade platforms and digital economy agreements, DEAs.
In this slide, we are going to talk about the opportunities and consideration while doing business in Singapore. Singapore is one of the most global connected and business-friendly markets. Its strategic location in Southeast Asia provides excellent access to regional market, making it a key hub for Asia-Pacific operations. A major advantage is its transparent regulatory environment and doing intellectual property protection essential for industries like tech, R&D, and the creative sector. The tax system is highly competitive and the government offers initiatives particularly in high-tech and green sectors. Business culture in Singapore emphasizes efficiency, punctuality, and the professionalism, while formal, structured long-term relationships and trust are also highly valued. The government strongly supports digital innovation through Smart Nation initiatives, and there is a growing emphasis on sustainability. Companies aligned with ESG principles will find increasing support from both public and private sector. Taiwan offers great opportunities, especially in the tech industry. It's known around the world for its strong semiconductor sector, with companies like TSMC leading the way. Taiwanese business care a lot about quality, reliability, and long-term relationship. The rules and regulation have improved, but there can be still some paperwork delays, especially for foreign companies. The business culture is respectful and follows a clear structure. Discussion often take time because people prefer to agree as a group. Building personal relationship known as guangxi is very important. Trust is often built outside of the office through social dinner and friendly meetings. A strong personal connection can be just as important as a written contract. Finally, Taiwan's political situation with China can be sensitive. It's important for international business to stay neutral and be careful with how they communicate. In short, Taiwan rewards companies that are respectful, patient, and focused on quality and relationships. In this slide, let's compare Singapore and Taiwan from a business point of view. Both have a strong infrastructure, good protection of intellectual property, and great location for doing business in Asia. Singapore is known for being very efficient, stable, and easy to work with. The rules are clear, the government support business and technology, and things move quickly. Taiwan is a leader in innovation, especially in semiconductors and manufacturing. Doing business there takes more time because of local rules and paperwork, but it's worth it if you are in the tech field. Personal relationship matter more in Taiwan. Culturally, Singapore focus on being formal, personal, professional, and on time. Taiwan values relationship, respect for senior people, and working together without conflict. To succeed companies. Need to adjust how they work in each place, be clear and efficient in Singapore, and more professional and patient in Taiwan. The most important thing is to understand and respect the local way of doing business.
Here's a quick look at 5 financial reporting nuances between Taiwan and Singapore. Both follow IFRS, but Taiwan adopts each standard individually through its Financial Supervisory Commission, sometimes delaying implementation or requiring local adaptations like ESG rules for big tech and finance. Singapore, on the other hand, uses SFRS, which is nearly identical to IFRS, and includes ESG alignment via IFRS S1 and S2. In Taiwan, private companies can still use local GAAP, while Singapore requires most large companies, both public and private, to use SFRS. Legal systems also differ. Singapore's common law system makes accounting standards enforceable through the Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority. Taiwan's civil law system requires IFRS to be passed into legislation to be enforceable. Another nuance is language. Singapore's official business language is English, while Taiwan uses traditional Chinese. Even though Taiwan has a rigorous IFRS translation and endorsement process, there's still risk of interpretation differences. Finally, Singapore is ahead in automation. Filings are done via XBRL, which makes regulatory checks faster and more transparent, while Taiwan mostly still relies on PDFs. Now let's look at how IFRS compares to US GAAP in 5 key accounting areas and how they directly impact the largest or fastest growing sectors in Singapore and Taiwan. In Taiwan, tech and semiconductor manufacturing dominate the economy. That's why inventory methods and development cost treatment are so important. Under IFRS, companies like TSMC can capitalize qualifying R&D, boosting reported income, while GAAP will require immediate expensing. IFRS also prohibits LIFO, which impacts inventory costs and profits. In Singapore, high-growth sectors like real estate, logistics, and finance make lease accounting and fair value reporting under IFRS especially relevant. IFRS requires most leases to be reported as assets and liabilities. It also permits fair value reporting for investment property. These differences can create real disconnects when comparing financials across borders, especially for US GAAP users looking at lease-heavy industries or sectors where fair value has a bigger impact. Finally, both countries have complex revenue models in tech and fintech, and while IFRS and GAAP are mostly aligned on revenue recognition, differences in judgment and timing can affect investor interpretations.
Hi everyone, my name is Renchi. So I will briefly introduce the skills and credential required to be certified accountants in Taiwan and Singapore, and how those professionals respond to engaging global issues. In Taiwan, become professional accountants start with some bachelor degrees in accounting or finance. Many also purchase a master's degree to move into the senior roles. The most important certification is the CPA Taiwan. International credentials like ACCT or US CPA are also becoming more recognized, especially in multinational firms. So key skills include strong analytical thinking, proficiency in Mandarin and English, and familiar with IFRS, Taiwan tax law, and ERP system. In Singapore, most accountants are graduated from the top university. Even non-accounting majors can enter the firm through conventions program. The main qualification is the CA Singapore, managed by the SAC. Other global credentials like ACCT, ACCT Australia, and widely expanded. Singapore accountants are expected to excel in English communication and have expertise in data analysis, substance ability, accounting, and AI tools. In terms of responding to engaging issues, Taiwan shows strongly institutional support and proactive adaptations. Accountants embrace digital transformation and ESG reporting, supported by the organizations like FSC and ARDF. Taiwan also updates audit standards in response to global issues and promotes transparency and anti-corruption regulations. Singapore takes a forward-thinking approach. The ICA leads digital initiatives like the Accountancy Industry Digital Plan. Singapore also emphasizes global alignments with IFRS International Ethics Code of the Sustainability Framework. They promote continuous education through the CPE, which is continuing professional education, helping professionals stay globally competitive. Thank you.
To close, Singapore and Taiwan are dynamic markets with global reach and strong sectors like tech and finance. Success means understanding their rules, IFRS use, ESG priorities, and what's expected of finance professionals on the ground. Thank you.